game of the day, Epsilon versus Evil Geniuses. Can Epsilon play spoiler and do so in a massive, massive way?
Well, kicking things off with Reedy, and of course it makes sense, right? You got to start out to see how that new man is going to perform for the team, and he's taking that long route. He's going all the way around trying to get a couple players tagged up on the inside, but finally makes an appearance over towards the hill, and just like that, he gets one kill.
All right, calm down, Reedy.
Oh
please.
yeah, we didn't even talk about that, did we? Reedy versus Aches. This is, I don't want to call it a rivalry because Aches would laugh at that concept, but maybe in Reedy's mind, it's a bit of one.
I mean, it's just don't shoot body straight off the bat. This is how series get a little out of control, but it was a good opening break there, of course, from Epsilon. Now, though, it will be EG with control of the hill. 20 seconds left. Key thing to note, of course, is who's controlling the spawns. It's going to be those blue arrows, primarily 5 and 8, that just spawned in. That's Nameless and Apathy. Now, actually, they're left as the only few players alive for the squad, so Dave left with a pretty important gunfight that he really does need to win. Has some support coming in from behind. Hawkeye gets some pretty good timing there on Enable. Should be able to find the second in Nameless as well, but Nameless turns and burns. Keeps the dream alive. Vortex there instantly to trade.
Well, it's actually a huge play as well. They gave up too much pressure on the backs of EG. Should have had the good spawns, but they had 3 players all focused on just, well, 2 players for Epsilon. So it pans out, at least for the moment, but now a lot of pressure's coming in the back. Dave's got to win some huge one. He picks up 1. Vortex gets the other 2. Man's on a 6 streak. Talk about a guy stepping up to the plate.
You need someone to start strong. It's Vortex, right? He has streaks. He's looking to get himself fully streaked out as well. This could be the key fight. There's the glide bomb. Just a few more points now will be full streaks. And you can see App just respecting that for now. Doesn't want to necessarily push, but with, what, just shy of 30 seconds left of Main Street Hill, Vortex actually can feel free to roam as his teammates fold. Now basically just play your life and play for those streaks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately not a terrible situation from EG, but just the fact that they go from half spawn should be good, and now Vortex has streaks. Very nice break for Epsilon.
Vortex has one of 2 decisions he could have made there. Play for the new 100 or do exactly what he's just done. Watched across to the new hill, play for a kill and fire. Played that perfectly. Fully streaked out. Epsilon with the lead, admittedly a shy one, just 5 points, but they should be good for the new hill.
Still, though, he has to make good use of them. We've seen, especially on this map, time and time again, where players have streaks and they don't get too much value out of it. But either way, decent bit of lead. Again, the streaks in the back pocket and EG are all going to be coming from the same side over by lower docks. And Dave's going to be watching them all. As long as he stays live in this position, gets players weak, that should make the gunfights easier. And then that's just not the case. Enable says no thank you, picks up 2. And at the very least, EG is going to be able to contest this hill.
And one of the players that you mentioned was pretty good for Epsilon on this map was Hawkeye, of course. Relatively slow start from him. We'll need to try and step things up a little bit because right now it is all Vortex and Dave realistically doing the majority of the work, but Aches and Apathy, they've also started off horrendously slow. 4 and 14 combined between those 2 players, and it's Epsilon just trying to break straight back in towards docks. 3 players go down. Nameless last man up for EG. Looks like that final 10 seconds could be contested.
And this is interesting because this is 2 hills back-to-back where Epsilon, they managed to do like the perfect thing, but they don't execute as well as they could have. I mean, Aches is 2 and 8, Apathy's 2 and 8, and the fact that it's only a 20-point game is kind of unacceptable. Again, Enable goes huge to help his team break through and contest that last hill, but they are going to have to do it once again. But now Apathy's over top on the head glitch, and again, contest time. This is good for EG. If you don't have the spawns, this is what you have to do.
And it's worth noting the final kill on the last hard point was a relatively big one. Dave stops Nameless from getting any streaks whatsoever, and that's what you want to see. Epsilon, they had the early time here on barrels. Now use your streaks. Spiral this hill out of control. Try and earn as much time as possible. 30 seconds gone. It's been all Epsilon. Only 1 glide bomb has been used, but of course you still have 2 other streaks if you want to use them. But as of right now, Epsilon doing a great job slaying. They have themselves a nice little lead here, Chance.
And something to keep in mind for that streak strategy. On the next hill over by Crane, the option is, if EG gets control early, call in the fighter pilot from like the left side of the minimap, get the angle, clear him out of the hill, and then instantly put the artillery next to that in between the useless building and the crane. We've seen it done once ago. I think it was like Slasher that pulled it off, and that was one of the best usages we've seen of artillery. So the groundwork is there. EG has that early control, and again, this is the play, but Reedy, of course, is going to be blocking spawn, so you might not need to use the artillery at all. The fighter pilot comes in from the correct angle. We know players are in fighter. Reedy's dealing with them, but on the bright side, EG for the moment's out of the hill, but now I want to see this artillery get dropped. Will they use it?
I think the problem was he didn't really get all 4 down at the right time, and you see the spawn still a little sporadic right there for EG, so Epsilon say, well, we don't want to invest absolutely everything just yet because they still don't even have hill control. The concept would have been brilliant, right? That's the exact way you want to use that fighter pilot, set up for an artillery, and of course try and realistically break into Doc Crane, but it's not going to be the case. And EG keep it close, gents.
Is it a mistake to not use the artillery? No, not at all. But is it another situation where I think Epsilon could have executed a little bit better? Yes, I agree. Groundworking potential was there, but obviously they have the lead still. There's no love lost. But at the same time, do you really think Apathy is going to stay at 4-14? I mean, he's 5-5, 5-15 now, excuse me. But do you expect him to have that slow of a second half? I just don't. I don't know if the lead is going to be enough for Epsilon. But at the same time, you do good once, you can continue that for the second half.
Realistically, the key now is when are you going to use that artillery barrage, right? That's what I'm really curious to see when Vortex is going to decide to use it. It has to be efficiently, and it definitely has to be effective, because despite the great start for Epsilon, you can see EG, they're down, but by no means out. They claw it back to a 4-point game. As we go into our second rotation, first hill still going to be neutral. Apathy tries to break through. That's going to be one for him. Nameless as well with a key kill on Vortex. Keeps the hill neutral. And this is really where playing for spawns is going to be massive for Apathy. Recognize there's going to be 2 players from Epsilon back here. Enable's going for a pinch through Cole as well. And as long as those kills get traded out, this could be good news for EG.
Well, Apathy's going on the hunt, trying to find one more player, and that's just going to be a wall. So Vortex is going to win that gunfight. But yeah, EG has taken the lead despite all the troubles that they've had early on. They're in an okay spot. Of course, they are going to have to re-break this hill because Epsilon has a mild amount of control, but Dave's kind of by himself here. They got 3 players with the opportunity to overwhelm, and well, here's the artillery. There's the investment. That's going to force players inside, so maybe not a bad use at all, but Dave at the same time is still worried about the back. Now you got pressure coming in from the mid-cut, but Hockey and Vortex, the duo, going big.
I was going to say, the reason that works so well is because you have Hockey and Vortex both essentially staring down at mid-cut, funneling EG through. So this time should realistically all go to Epsilon. Once again, they've done well. They've held the first 30 seconds, but you want to see them get a full 60, right? Because how many times this game already have we seen them get the first 30 of a hill and then EG break through, they get a little bit of scrap time, and they keep it even. And that seems, once again, chance to be the case.
Yeah, this is not a good look. Again, I think streak execution is one of the most important things. And yes, the artillery was okay, but not good enough because they just didn't have a good enough hold. And Epsilon, they've had good rotations multiple times. I think we've even seen on the Docks Hill, but they just don't seem like they quite have enough slaying power to get those full 60 kind of holds. And that's obviously huge. EG taking full advantage. Now, again, another opportunity. They get the spawns early. Opportunity to maybe get the full 60, but EG right now are swarming from every single angle.
And that's what this game is going to come down to now. Which team is going to be able to, you know, take a big chunk of time on one of these hard points, and it looks like that was a very, very quick break from EG. One of the quickest we've actually seen so far this map, and that could be the difference maker. You can see, of course, where Epsilon are spawning all the way back useless. It's going to be Reedy, who has a long, long journey to go. Has a teammate in front of him now. That's going to be Dave. Dave wins his first gunfight. Aches, of course, in the hill here for EG. The push is going to come through. It's so important here that Epsilon break in.
And Aches, at the very least, is doing a good job of just staying alive. Even if he doesn't get the kills, he's buying his teammates time to come in the hill to help out. And you see, by the time he falls, Nameless is over there to get the player over top. So Epsilon, they go from having the perfect rotation over towards this hill to holding on for like 5 seconds. EG breaks through, not even much contested time. And as you pointed out, Ben, that could potentially be the difference maker. Of course, still a lot of time, but even on the rotations, EG, despite the self-kill on the car, they're still in control of the hill for the moment. Of course, they're getting pinched from both sides, so it's not going to be easy to stay alive, but at the same time, it just feels like it's a good spot for EG.
And that's a sensational challenge there from Reedy. He knew that was a gunfight. He had to take against Enable, could not allow Enable to stay alive, and he has another one against Apathy, wins that this time. Of course, he wasn't weak already, but Reedy making the play there for Epsilon. Now, no, has to play for those streaks as well. With Hawkeye at the back, he gets a little bit of assistance there. They could potentially try and set up a bait and switch for those streaks as well. Potential juggle could come through. Hops out the hill there. Love that play. Now, if he goes back in the hill, could have contested and played for the extra 100 points. That probably would have been the safer play, especially considering Hawkeye was at the back already.
And it's understandable to hop out of the hill because Nameless has been back there for a solid 15-20 seconds, but he hops out and the remaining players from EG are able to hop in. So, I mean, if Reedy wins the gunfight in the hill, he probably would have gotten traded out a couple seconds later, but those couple points might end up mattering because EG, most comfortably they've had all game. They've clawed their way back in. Of course, though, you have to get the rotations as well. Epsilon is set up early, but they have players so far away. Dave's across the map. EG, if they put the pressure on, they're going to be in a somewhat decent spot. Aches is trying to make it happen through fire.
Epsilon, they need a hold. They really, really do. EG, they've earned themselves now a 50 8-point lead. Aches trying to find himself a double kill, not going to find it. Apathy's there to trade. He gets a double of his own. That's Hawkey and Reedy. They go down. Vortex immediately throwing the nades onto the hill. Enable trades out in fire as well. Aches now pushing through mid-map. There's one. Can he find the second? It's going to be Reedy, but a team kill comes through from EG. Bear in mind, while all that is going on, Epsilon finally jump into the hill.
25 seconds left. They're going to need to get it all, but the pressure's coming in. Dave's actually by himself, and they are not going to get it all. Enable picks up another 2-piece to his name. The man made the transition from the AR. He has been having a field day consistently with the sub as well. Again, EG, they kind of make that switch between Enable and Nameless, and at least seems for the moment to be paying dividends. There's a long way to go, not only in this series, but for the rest of the week. But I'm a fan so far. Still, though, Epsilon trying to fight back into this game.
Oh, nice double from Enable as he now works over towards those streaks. Just 100 points is all he needs. That's going to be the fighter pilot. Can he find the glide bomb as well? Snaps onto Hawkey almost, but it is not to be. Now EG, they just need 20 more points, and map 1 will come to an end. But obviously, you mentioned that role change. I think the key here is you ask the players just how much more comfortable they feel. I think that's going to be key, right? Enable, he just seems better playing at a quicker pace. Of course, Nameless, he's going to be a slower-based AR player, and I think it works wonders for this EG squad. I think they really have found a better solution to their tempo. I think it shows on a map like this, right? Enable 40 and 30 right now. Sometimes Nameless, he gets a little bit of slack unnecessarily. I think he does a good job for the squad, almost essentially what the squad needs him to do in maps just like this.
Absolutely. Epsilon, of course, trying to fight back as much as possible. There's still potential. They have statue control, of course. EG, they're not going to be able to win on Statue Hill, and Dave picks up a nice 3-piece. So EG is going to spawn out over towards Cole, and they're going to get funneled through, right? Like, Dave already has the cuts. They have players on their rotation in the back, but at the same time, EG, they just need one break, and they should be good to go. Vortex, though, man's had himself a hell of a game, 37 and 32. He's the one trying to put the pressure up front. One player sneaks through, that's Aches, but Dave's still alive, but it's an important gunfight. He wins, but they're not even getting time. It's so tough. Players coming in from B cut. The pressure is on. Dave, you got to go big for the team.
And it's moments like we just saw, right? Dave mid-cut. He's, 2 kills off streaks, and he just gets a little bit over antsy. He pushes through. If he just plays out a little slower, Epsilon keep the spawns, they keep the pressure on the hill. Instead, now you have an absolute cluster fight here on Main Street. The hardpoint time's more than likely going to get contested, but Hawkey now doing a good job just trying to slay out from the back. But EG looks good for them to close this one out, potentially here. 13 seconds left. It's all they need. They have hill control. Epsilon, their back is against the wall. Aches picks up a double, and that will be all she wrote. But Chance, to that point, it just seems those small mistakes are basically what costing Epsilon from getting maybe, 40 seconds of hill time to 30 splits, essentially.
And mistakes might not even be the right word. It's like they execute okay, but they could just be better. And to their credit, again, they're working with a pickup, right? Like, they've even stated, like, publicly, like, we're using this for practice, and that's good practice to that. Like, they look great that series, a lot of opportunities, but again, you have a situation where, what was it? Aches and Apathy started combined 4 and 16 or something like that. You only have a 20-point lead. I think the streaks they were fine, but could have been better. The holds were okay, but could have been better. Again, that's something that if you're an Epsilon fan, it's comforting, but for this series, it's not a good look.
I would be a little more realistic there. I would say the holes weren't good enough, and I think that's something that the players will watch back and say, yeah, I think that's a fair comment to say realistically, but the key for me there is Epsilon are getting better. Right? They're improving. Every time you watch them, it seems like they're making small adjustments, small improvements. For me, map 1 was never really going to be one where I thought Epsilon could take it. I look at the search and destroys and the CTFs. I think if Epsilon's going to win their first series, it has to be in a Game 5 fashion. It has to be based around search and destroy. It's the game mode they've just, to be simple, or to put it plain and simply, they've looked the most comfortable on.
Absolutely. At the same time, though, Docs, I think that was the best opportunity. That's
you're 100%
the only
right.
hard map they have wins on, right?
Yeah, you're 100% right.
But again, I think Epsilon can look back and be like, okay, we can fix these like 3 or 4 things, and now we can start beating like the best in the world on this map. So again, potential looking forward. There are good things to say about Epsilon. It's not all bad. And of course, flip side for EG, I want to touch on again. I think Enable probably is one of the most underrated players in World War II. Like, he was clear-cut best player on EG when he had the AR. He was putting up decent numbers, like maybe not a top 5, but he's in the conversation as one of the better ARs in the world. And he makes the switch, right? And that's something I was concerned about. I was like, you don't take your best player and like put him at a disadvantage, but turns out with a sub, he's really good at that too. So yeah, I think he has to make a case as being one of the better players we've seen in World War II. I don't know definitively say top 5. We're gonna have to see a lot more of the gameplay again. You have a good performance against Epsilon. You don't want to draw too many conclusions, but something to think about, right? Like moving forward, enable success. Does he continue to do well? And at the same time, does Nameless keep it up with the AR as well? Because he's been good, not great, but still good. And can they like continue to show improvement?
And that's what makes this EG squad so interesting, right? Because you have Enable now having as much, if not more success than he had previously as the main AR. It seems like Nameless feels a little bit more comfortable, which is key. Then you have that man on your screen, Apathy. And this is a player that I think has been relatively quiet throughout this World War II season. And he is one of those players that can just all of a sudden be explosive. You know, you go back to what, Ghost days? This was a player who single-handedly got the nickname the Optic Gaming Killer, right? Like, people kind of look at his individual performance and say, wow, he really has been one to step up and really play well. And the key, that's something I know a lot of the old school players have been laughing at, Aches with a sub. Seems comfortable again, right? Just keep the sub out, Pat. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Aches has been quite a bit better. Well, especially so this year compared to like the past couple, because they haven't been great for him. But yeah, he stepped it up as well. I mean, again, EG, you want to talk about their like narrative for the year. They, again, had to come from the open bracket and make it to the Pro League. I saw criticism on Twitter the other day, players talking about like, whoever does well the first tournament, like they're just solidified for the year. That's not the case. There are some teams that had to have gone massively out of their way just to qualify for having good tournaments later in the year. EG is one of them. They go from scraping by to make Pro League to have 2 top 8 finishes at open events now that they've had, and they're fighting for playoffs as well. So you love to see improvements at the same time. And just to backtrack a little bit, talking about Apathy, I think his respawn's been pretty consistent, but not overwhelming. But his search and destroy, when he turns up, he goes off.
But that's the key, right? You use the word when.
Yes.
It hasn't been that consistent kind of force that you're kind of used to with Apathy traditionally over the past few years, but hopefully he can, of course, find that form on a more consistent basis. But you're totally right. When he does go off, there's not many players like him, that's for sure. And speaking of App, we'll start on board with him for round number 1 here. Of course, USS Texas Search and Destroy is our game 2, and Reedy, he finds first blood on App.
And this is interesting as well. We talked about Reedy with the sniper, but he takes the sub, and Epsilon pours a lot of pressure on this A bomb site, wastes no time just to at least get complete control. Of course, though, Reedy's by himself, has 2 players he has to deal with, so all of a sudden we find ourselves in a 2 versus 2. We got Vortex and Dave going against Nameless and Enable.
Dave gonna have to potentially play this one slow. Vortex already got control of the A site once, chose not to plant, and turned out to be a good decision for him as he was ultimately able to pick up a kill, force this 2v2 situation. Now he knows where Nameless is. They need to be careful of that pinch, though, and that's what could come through here with Enable. There's the first Enable. Should be good to find the second, but Vortex immediately challenges. Now you got yourself a 1v1 with 33 seconds on the clock.
Nameless has, well, I was going to say the advantage, but he doesn't have the higher ground, doesn't even have the right gun for the job. So yeah, higher ground OP. The only advantage he had in that situation is just the knowledge of where Vortex was, but that's a very good round. And it's worth pointing out, no sniper, because I think if you don't have a sniper on this map, you have more options of where you want to plant the bomb, because you don't have to worry about the sniper having to wall bang it through the metal sheet, whatever it's called, I don't even know. But if you don't have that concern, you can plant it wherever you want. You see they got the bomb site control. Potentially they could plant it there, because they're less concerned about the nades if you plant it over on the side. But either way, if you have a team that's willing to completely give up B Street on offense, which they seem to be okay with because they had Dave to watch the flank and the middle push as well, they have a lot of options over on that A site.
I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me to see Reedy pull it out defensively, and that is going to be the case here. Recognizing, hey, sometimes you can play a little too slow on the attacking side, and we'll see if Reedy's able to find that pick with the sniper rifle. It is, of course, EG on the attacking side. App's going to have the bomb. Nameless draws first blood, however, though. That's going to be on Dave, so numerical advantage in EG's favor.
Still, though, I appreciate the idea from Epsilon. Reedy, the place he's sniping from, it means his teammates don't have to worry about A at all. They can all stack up inside the ship. Of course, that means they should be trading their kills. But at the same time, I think the strategy for them is there. Reedy, of course, knows the player's on bomb, and of course, it helps when you have to hit the shots. It's not an easy shot to hit at all. But now this is actually the bad part of the strategy, where if you don't hit the shot, they get the bomb down, they get out. Now Epsilon has to retake, and that is not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard. Of course, they do know, though, that EG don't have a sniper of their own. The problem was App got out with his life, and the nades didn't come through. Hulky does find a big win on Enable, and that's going to be key. Keep your eye on the clock as well. 27 seconds. Reedy now forced to push up with a sniper rifle, but when you can hit shots quite like that, does it really matter? And honestly, if I'm Reedy, I hop straight on the bomb. Of course, he's the player with the sniper rifle. Nameless down to 1v3. They know where he is. Instantly get collapsed. Reedy hops on the bomb as well. Drops off just before the defuse. Recognizes Vortex closer to Streaks. That was a perfect retake from Epsilon.
Fantastic retake. That's what you got to do if you're Reedy. like he misses. It wasn't an easy shot the first one, but I think that was much easier than the shot that he actually hit. But again, that's the value. We talk about, like, who was the sniper before? Like, was it Nathan? Like, how much impact did they have on this map? Because they weren't willing to play it before. But now if you get a sniper who's good, and again, Reedy has been sniping on every single map in Search Joy. He looks fantastic. It increases value to your team. So 2 rounds in the books for Epsilon, and this is the map, again, is a must-win for them, but they're looking good so far.
The one thing I did love as well was, I kind of called it, just hop on the bomb straight away, right? He's the sniper rifle player. Don't have him linger on the side. Don't have him pre-aiming. Just hop on that bomb. Force Nameless to come to you. You have the numerical advantage, and now he's essentially forced Nameless to pull a sniper rifle out of his own. But I'm curious to see, is Reedy actually sniping on the attack? He is as well. So Reedy keeps the sniper out. Nameless pulls one out as well. Nameless, of course, gets the first blood. He's a player who's been known to hit a sniper or two in his time as well.
And it's worth pointing out, it's perfectly fine to switch up your strats. It's important to be able to do so. And Vortex, of course, just wants to get a bomb plant down to get those streaks. But at the same time, Epsilon did a really good job last time of getting full control of A. And if Nameless is sniping over the B street, if you just ignore him, you got a 4v3 on bomb site. So I think Epsilon could have just done a repeat of their first round. Either way, though, Vortex, again, he just needs a kill or needs the bomb plant.
Here's the problem. The first round, if you remember, it was Vortex who made the opening play, right? He pushed over, he jumped across the site, then sat and waited to trade out. Now he has the bomb, and now he's close to streaks. Playing a little more passive. Doesn't want to throw away that streak he's currently on of 4. Doesn't want it to be absolutely nothing, but he's managed to get over towards the B side. He dodges this stun. It could have been good, but does connect, and now he's left in a sticky situation. 12 seconds left. You almost have to stick the plant.
8 seconds, Aches goes for the check, got cover over top, and he should be, no, he doesn't even get the bomb down, so he's not going to get the streaks. More importantly, this probably isn't going to be the round win, because Reedy's going to have to get a collateral on those 2 players, and that's
kill that guy.
Worst case scenario. And I know you're saying you don't want Vortex to play aggressive on A, because if you get naded out, then that's super costly, but at the same time, the nades always come in for the back corner plant, right? They always go to the same spot. If you get some smokes down, and Vortex plants, even on the opposite side, if you got 4 players without the sniper, if you can worry about the aggression, you can afford to go for full flanks. You can push through the middle of the ship. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but again, the opportunity to mix things up is there, I think, for this team, if they're willing to do so. So not a bad round. It's obviously unfortunate for them, but EG just played it well. Nameless gets that first pick. That's more of a standard Texas round, if you will.
Definitely is. Now, of course, we head into round 4. No, Dave still trying to find that first kill. The sooner he gets it, the better, of course, for him. It won't be lingering on his mind. There's EG on the attacking side. You can see their game plan. They throw the smoke out towards B. And Epsilon left thinking, well, this could be bait, lads. Guess what? It isn't. Bomb goes down very, very quickly. And Dave finds that kill I was talking about there with the nade on Apathy. 4v3 in favor of Epsilon.
And some Kobe's getting tossed up as well, but I don't think those nades are going to have too much of an impact. But of course, no snipers, so maybe a little bit more comfortable in this situation. Aches is up top, the trades are coming out left and right, but it's a situation where the players might want to hop on bomb, but now you can't because Aches gets 2. Enable picks up a kill. That bomb is clear, and that player is not in the best of spots. Vortex, he's not fighting for streaks anymore. He's going to be able to get 1, but with,
or not.
Never mind.
Well, Aches don't get turned on. It tags both players up. A little unfortunate. And ultimately, that round was won from Aches' nade. Horky kind of second-guessed himself. Do I just go up the stairs? Do I challenge? Aches through the nade, down low, finds himself a double kill. And that really was a turning point, because all he needed to do after that was check bomb, make sure Vortex wasn't on it, which he wasn't. He was trying to hunt down the kill, rightfully so, from him. But EG, a well-executed round. It started from the beginning. The smokes, Epsilon second-guessed himself at the beginning. You kind of have to... You have to respect it. Now especially. You can't just allow the smokes to come down and not nade the site. You have to put some utility down on it.
So now you got to think long term of, like, does EG mix things up, throw the smoke, bait out some nades, and then plant later on? So, of course, the options are endless with sort of the strategic mind games that I'm sure Aches is going to be well equipped for. Either way, though, Epsilon back on the attack. I think the bomb's across to A once again. Vortex uses the smoke just to get the positioning. He's waiting for a player to kind of run past, but EG, they don't seem to be taking the bait. Of course, now you do have to kind of plant for the left side of things because Reedy does have that sniper, but either way, you got to get the first bloods too, and it seems like Epsilon, they're just waiting. They're waiting for someone for EG to overextend and make a mistake, and so far, not so good. Nameless with the 3rd first blood to his name.
Yep, that's the problem when you wait so long, and you pointed out perfectly, Nameless 3 first bloods, 3 kills. Being very effective, and now Reedy's going to go for the challenge. Misses, but luckily, so does Nameless. Bomb still yet to go down. Vortex has it, and I think Horky could be good here to actually get that plant down. Surprised if he ultimately fell. So Bum does get planted, but needs to be careful not to give Nameless a free shot. Survives. Reedy still sniping down low. Nameless has to respect that, of course.
Very difficult spot still for Epsilon. Nameless gets the pick as well, just hitting nice snipes consistently for the team. Vortex down low, though. They're going to even things up to a 2v2 very quickly. No one's hopped on bomb. Vortex wins the huge gunfight. Now, all of a sudden, Dave's in a 1 versus 1, but I don't think he knows that that bomb isn't getting defused. Aches peeks out,
the mental.
Gets the gunfight win. That's a 5 streak for Aches. That's going to be the fighter pilot on board for him. The mantle doesn't help anything.
You hate to see it.
It's still a 3v4 retake, or not retake. It's 3v4. You're just trying to hold on to things. But again, a difficult spot for Epsilon. Props to Nameless. Gets those first 2 picks, and he's winning his team rounds.
He most definitely is. And now, if you're Epsilon, I think you have to make the decision. Does Reedy try and snipe against Nameless off the bat, try and take that sniper fight immediately, or potentially put the sniper rifle away? Put it away, maybe pull out an extra smoke class. In fact, there's your answer. The one thing that I pretty heavily critiqued him on in the last Game 5 we saw them was he sniped every round in Valk. And it was like, put it away, try something different. We already saw him, round number 1, remember, without the sniper rifle, have great success. Now the problem is, you've got to smoke out Nameless. You've got to nullify Nameless on this map.
I just want to point out Dave is playing with fire, and that after I was about to say he's going to win the gunfight. I don't even think you see his name pop up through the smoke. I think once Reedy shoots, he doesn't know where Apathy is, and Apathy's in a better spot. That does get traded out though.
Yep.
So good stuff on the nades, but at the same time, you don't want this bomb to go down. You don't want Aches to get even more streaks, or just use that fighter pilot if that bomb gets planted.
Well, bear in mind they realized that was Bum. It was Apathy had it. They get the audio cue, but sadly, they allow Enable to stroll over and pick it up. Aches, of course, playing his life here. Why? Because he has streaks. Going to drop that glide bomb down. Should spot Horky. But Horky should be fine to get inside and get to cover. So all Aches is going to get from that is a little bit of information. Bomb goes down. Now you got yourself a 3v3. Epsilon trying to retake, and that's a good opening there. Dave shuts down Nameless. Enable instantly trades out Horky, however, not going to find the double. It's Vortex that picks him up. Aches 1v2 with a fighter pilot. Does he go for the fighter pilot, or does he want to just check the bomb? Sees bomb being defused, shot from behind, drop shot, doesn't connect with the kill. Epsilon tie things up.
Very nice stuff, and it's a live by the sniper, die by the sniper kind of situation, right? Nameless has been fantastic getting the first bloods, but that round, the gunfight he needed to win, Dave comes out on top, the pinch comes in, and they get a lot of control over on the A bomb site. So I wouldn't necessarily say any mistakes coming out from EG just because that first blood did get traded instantly, but a very nice bounce back around for Epsilon. They get rid of at least 1 glide bomb. That means they know their fighter pod is still on board. So the players, if they're not going to run mountain, they better be damn sure that they stay inside the ship somewhere. But we got a close game in our hands. It looks like Reedy's going back for the snipe on A, and I wish they would switch it up. I wish you'd put away the sniper just to get the bomb down on the wrong side of the site on A, just to kind of be able to overwhelm your opponent. Of course, though, smoke comes down. Vortex, I'm assuming he's going to jump across. He does so once again.
Here's the one thing
same old.
Vortex has to be careful of. He's done the same thing a few rounds in a row. If Aches calls in that fighter pilot, Vortex could be in trouble. I don't think Aches is going to do that. Instead, he checks the bomb, and there's a blind spot bottom left. Vortex needs to be so careful if he decides to go for that plant. Nade's going to get thrown out. Vortex has to back away just a little bit, and I believe that did actually get a hit marker too, so they know someone's on the site, but they don't know exactly where. So Vortex still with a little bit of a advantage. Never mind. Aches sniffed him out and got the free first blood.
Aches eventually finding him is huge. And again, I think this is a potential wasted opportunity for Epsilon where they have like a good strategy, but they don't quite execute. Reedy, though, if he keeps hitting snipes, you don't really need a good strategy, but Aches is actually just going to be able to trade that out. So it's the Aches show for the moment. Dave's down low, and this might be an interesting gunfight, but he comes out on top, so another 2 versus 2 situation.
I'll tell you what, the help's going to come through as well. Beautiful from Horky. Didn't waste any time. Keeps Dave alive, and now you've got Aches once again 1v2. But here's the problem. Bombs down on the site. Aches knows it. With 7 seconds left, Dave's going to have to go for the challenge, but he wins the gunfight. Very close to an EG clutch, but instead, Dave goes big for Epsilon, and Epsilon now with the advantage in the search.
Those are some scary gunfights that he's been taking, getting very close. But again, this is why, obviously, it worked out. I don't think Reedy needs to snipe. Yes, he hits the disgusting shot to kind of open things up, but the pressure seems to be working for him. Like, how many situations did EG get the first blood, and still Epsilon, at the very least, evens things out, makes it interesting inside the ship. They've had a lot of success when they're playing aggressive down low.
I think the key now is Vortex has to do something different on the attacking side. Whatever it is, I think now you got to do something different, whether it's play the B site, play A a little bit differently. Something has to change for Epsilon if they want to solidify this series. This, of course, a big defensive round for them. A hold here would be beautiful. Aix still has himself a fighter pilot to use, but enable first blood. Aix shuts down Hawkeye. Now you don't even need to invest a streak. You've got yourself a 4v2. Make that a 4v1. It's all down to Dave, and to be frank, this round is over. EG, a beautiful response.
And possibly a little bit over-aggressive there from Epsilon. I think like Aix was even kind of frantically called out. There's a guy under the A-bomb site. He is one shot, and then you have like 2 or 3 different players from EG that can hunt down that kill. Of course, another situation, EG does get the first bloods, but no trades coming in from Epsilon. They all gonna get caught out taking the 1v1s gunfight, which if you win them, great. If not, you're just gonna get mollywopped. But yeah, a very good bounce back round from EG.
Pressure back into Epsilon now, and again, they have to have in the back of their mind, Aix has that fighter pilot. Aix has it. Reedy's going to keep the sniper rifle out. And if you look at that first blood column, and that really does tell you the story, doesn't it? Just 2 for Epsilon. Every other first blood in the game heading over to EG. And once again, Vortex is going to be your bomb carrier, but this time, love what they've done. I mentioned it, right? Play B. Do something different, and look at that. You get the advantage, but unfortunately, that's what you have to be careful of at that B site. The fighter pilot comes down and rains terror from above, but beautiful snipe again from Reedy. 2v2, 30 seconds left. Oh, so close, yet so far. Nade's going to be thrown out. Enable shuts down Hawkeye and Reedy. I mean, at this point, you have to play a little bit more aggressive through mid-ship. Enable's going to realize that, though. Challenges, and EG take the round.
And you got to give credit, obviously, to Enable in the mid-ship, one to dodge the sniper shot from Reedy, but to have the awareness to find both players. Knew that Reedy was going to have to play aggressive towards the end, either that or he's going to sit back with the sniper, but either way, Enable's got to find the kill, right? Because time is running down. Credit to the fighter pilot. I think both of those players had Mountain, but as soon as that bomb goes down, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because Dave's going to be watching over top. Those are easy-ish kills for Aix to get.
The problem is you need someone to be a more aggressive bottom middle. If you're going to go for a B plant and you know they have a fighter pilot, you have to secure bottom middle. Why? Because as soon as you plant that bomb, you can just dip bottom middle. I mean, where else are you going to escape to, right? Everything else outside, you need to have that position locked down just for safety reasons. And now, of course, EG 5-4 up. A win in this attacking round would take the search.
See what EG tries to do. We've seen them go for just the quick plants right away, and you see Reedy, he's just going to instantly chuck that nade. He gets the hit marker, but now there's actually 2 players. Like, who knows who we got the hit marker on, whether or not he's going to hit the prayer shot. Doesn't seem to be having success because Appy's been moving around quite a bit, just going back and forth, and now there's actually 2 players on site, and I don't know if Epsilon knows this.
Well, App dives away, which is going to leave Enable on site. He plants. Reedy still going for the shot. Enable will cross. Nameless draws first blood. Now 3v3. Looks as if Epsilon have instantly going to try and retake the site, though, as Enable falls, as does Hawkeye, 2v2, and someone instantly hopped on the bomb. I don't believe so, because they know Aix is there. App shuts down Reedy. Now it's Vortex 1v2. He knows where both players are, pulls out the pistol, but not going to win the gunfight. And just like that, chance EG go 2-0 up in the series.
And that's huge. That's a very back-and-forth game that EG, maybe in their minds, probably should have won a bit more comfortably just because of how many first bloods they were able to get. They got all but like 2. But at the same time, I think ultimately that game is won just because Aix gets streaks. The round that he got the streaks on, I think he gets 2 huge kills to secure the round for them from up top window, but you get the 2-piece with the fighter pilot. So GG Aix. I know that little mini rivalry of him and Reedy is going very, very well.
Yeah, most definitely is. Of course, EG 2-0 up now against Epsilon. When we return, we're going to Game 3, CTF. EG versus Epsilon, the current game on the main stage, and it's Evil Geniuses with the 2-0 lead. Both games, though, pretty hard fought, of course. Hardpoint a little bit more comfortable there for EG, but game 2, Search and Destroy, almost ends up going the distance.
And it's, again, the credit to Epsilon is that they're playing with the pickup. It's not going to be an easy situation, and they're very close games. I think both games that they look back, and a lot of opportunities for them to potentially get that win. Definitely more so in the Ducks, because they were just getting first blooded like crazy over on Texas. But even then, still close games. So long-term for Epsilon, there's a lot to look forward to, right? Of course, for the side of EG, they got to get the 3-0. You're looking at potential tiebreakers for them to make playoffs. Every single map is going to matter. And anything less than a 3-0 against the team that is the bottom seed is probably unacceptable from their perspective.
Most definitely is, as they look to keep the pressure on the likes of Unilad, of course, who've already played today. They were the first game of the day, and it was LG which came out with that win. So EG, no, as it currently stands, of course, tied in terms of series count coming into today. They have to keep the pressure on. They absolutely must if they want to secure that fourth and final spot to playoffs. For Epsilon, of course, you mentioned it. It's about now becoming comfortable with each other, really getting as much practice as possible. But I've said it on Trading Shots. I'm going to say it again. In the next few days, I think you're going to see Epsilon win a series. I really, really do. And I think it's going to be one of those series where they cause spoiler. They really upset someone. I think it's going to be someone potentially dropping down to relegation or someone missing out on playoffs.
I mean, okay, I'm trying to give them credit here for like long-term success, but at the same time, they've won, I think, 7 maps in 11 series, and I think this is their 12th series. So they're averaging less than 1 map per series.
I know.
And now you want them to get 3 with a pickup.
So here's the thing. Those stats at this point, I think you have to almost have like a reset button, right? Because they're playing with a different player. So you have to nullify the first.
Which makes things worse.
Wait, it does. But here's the thing. They're getting better. And I think you can see how much better they're getting. If you go back and watch last week, you know, pick any Epsilon game you want. Now watch this week. Same game mode and maps. I think you'll see them slowly improve. Now the problem, though, they're going to a London Docks CTF EG 2-0 up in the series. And to your point, Chance, and you make a great point, EG almost do need a 3-0 here. You know, they want to keep that map win percentage as high as possible. If everyone else is 3-0'd Epsilon, they need to keep the pressure on with a 3-0 of their own.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not a necessity. The necessity is just to get the win sort of thing. But again, you want to put yourself in the best position possible, because I think EG actually has like the statistically best odds, because now that Unilad's lost theirs, they get this win, they're up in placements, and then Unilad has to beat what? Like they have to beat FaZe, and if EG just wins out, then the spot's probably theirs at this point. I think it's safe to say, or just definitively will be. So the fate is going to be there and in their hands. Unilad, they need things to happen. Splice and E United, they need other teams to do certain things. So EG, again, their fate is in their own hands. That's actually happened to them once before, just to make the Pro League. So we know they can clutch up, and again, the team does, for them, seem to be getting better and better.
It definitely does. Now, of course, CTF London Docks underway. We already had one pretty epic CTF on the day. Will we have another? Well, Enable, he's going to try and say no to that straight off the bat. First 20 seconds, already managed to get his hands on a flag. 2 streak as well. That's going to be run in. Reedy's going to be shut down. App doing some damage there in the Epsilon spawn, and EG already 1-0 up.
Oh, this is
EG about to be 2-0 up.
Well, okay, so I was going to use the words reverse sweep out loud, but now I'm just going to say that there's no hope of a reverse sweep from Epsilon. A lot of gameplay still, but that is absolutely the best possible start for EG. We're 50 seconds in, and they are up 2-0. They're on pace to get, what, about 22 flags?
It's good to start off that strong, right? But to keep at that pace is
impossible.
It's impossible. It is, let's be honest here. Problem is, Reedy, the only player with kills right now for Epsilon, and as you can see, they've slowed down the EG attack, but App's already snuck through, and if he wins that gunfight, could have potentially had another flag to his name. You've got Vortex just sat, waiting for Aches to push. Finally gets a little impatient and picks up the kill anyway. Reedy shuts down Enable, and to be honest, I think it's important for Epsilon to try and get a flag relatively quickly here, just for confidence, if nothing else.
Still, though, you see the intelligence from Nameless. His job is just to stay alive, and granted, he does lose that 1v1, but they knew where he was. He buys his team about, what, an extra 3 or 4 seconds, which is enough for EG to spawn up, rotate back, and now you actually have Enable instantly kind of going for that pinch, because Epsilon, they're not playing fast. Obviously, there's plenty of time for them to work with, but they're, again, waiting for EG to make a mistake, which Enable might have just done. Still, though, 2 players in the back in the best spot possible to protect the flag, but the pinch is coming in. A player from Fire, player on Crane, and then a player on the steps, but Aches wins the first. The player goes out for the flag, and this might be out, but Enable spawns lower docks, and he might be going for the chase. His awareness to just cut down Dave. Now the player's going through. He might just be a little bit too slow.
That's a great challenge from Reedy, though. Buys Vortex some time, and Vortex will cross. If Reedy doesn't do that, I'll tell you what, Vortex could have been in some trouble. But more importantly, Vortex gets some streaks. So Epsilon now reduce the deficit down to just 1, 2 minutes 40. As long as Vortex doesn't panic streak here, they should be okay. Nameless, of course, finds himself a double, and you can see him beaming for Vortex, but won't connect. Problem flag pulled, but a big win from Vortex. That's full streaks. Keeps the Epsilon flag at bay, but you'll note number 6 on your minimap. It's Nameless. Sneaky beaky-like, waiting for anyone to potentially push through and just keeping control of this side of the map. Hulky should be the first victim, but no. Hulky actually wins the gunfight, and 3 players go down there for EG.
Oh, and this is huge. They got 3 players down. Ix is last alive. They know where he is, but we've already saw Epsilon. They made one really huge kind of controlled push where they made sure to get the timings right of having 3 players attack the flag from 3 different angles. And they made a decent job of, they found Enable, sniffed him out, and made sure, don't just mindlessly sprint the flag away. Even if you might be able to get it that way, they took the time to kind of single him out to get that flag out of dodge. They made a very comfortable play. Of course, now, though, Enable's going for some sneaks, so potentially the slow play is going to hurt them. They're going to invest the score streaks. Do they go for the flag or do they go for the kills in the back? It looks like they might try to do a little bit of both, and this could be a counter flag pull. Hockey's going to be able to get this one out.
I'm surprised to see the fighter pilot come out there, but that's the streak of choice, and now you got yourself a stalemate. But Dave doing wonders at the back, and if you're going to invest a fighter pilot at this point, it might be worth trying to invest a glide bomb, but no, you may not even need to. Vortex wins the gunfight, waits a little bit, holds the angle, and gets the flag return. 2-2, despite a fantastic start from EG. They scored 2 flags in the first 60 seconds of gameplay. We're all tied up once again. Hawkey now working towards some streaks of his own. Hey, those words, that phrase, reverse sweep, could still be on here, Chance.
Maybe, because they're executing very, very well. I think that was the ultimate problem for them on London Doc's hard point, but now they're making the plays. They're getting correct streak calls. They know when to counter pull. They know how to attack the flag. They're doing things very, very well, very, very methodically. And you can appreciate that because we kind of, joke and criticize this team for being slow learners, but at some point they are going to arrive, right? I think the players called out April were knocking on that door. The time matters now. They're starting to improve. Of course, though, EG back on the attack. They've got the full storm on the flag, trying to get out of dodge as well, and just like that, that's a 3 down, and EG making the perfect response.
Yeah, and at this point, when Vortex comes up, it's probably not even worth using your streaks to stop it because that flag's going to be home sweet home. You just want to make sure you don't get relayed on. That's going to be the key here. And speaking of the relay, Nameless comes in from the side. Hawkey, Reedy, both full, as does Vortex. Dave, last one alive now for Epsilon, has to go big. Note the car is on fire. Is it going to blow up? Dave doesn't even need to bother. Wins the gunfight himself. Enable trades out. He wins himself a fighter pilot, but Hawkey gets the kill. Flag stays at home. Now, that was where I was going to say, if you're Epsilon, you have to return that flag. Look at how far up the map Vortex was. You could have maybe left that flag off, let Vortex make a play. Admittedly, yes, Aches winning that gunfight barrels was a little scary, but you would have played that situation maybe a little slower. Epsilon could have prolonged that round maybe a little bit to see if they could have forced something.
Either way, though, I mean, you go into the second half, only down 1 flag. You got 2 streaks in the back pocket. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world by any means. Of course, it seems like EG, when they get their flag caps, they overpower their opposition. They just get the 4-man sweep, and they're like, hey, free flag. And Epsilon, they are having to fight tooth and nail just to get these out. But at the same time, they are executing. But at the end of the day, would you rather be able to overpower the other team or have to outplay them? Well, if I could choose overpower them, I'll take that. I mean, obviously, I'd rather have both, but of course, we'll see the slight stylistic matchup here.
Important to note again, Enable did earn himself a fighter pilot now, and EG, of course, just 5 minutes away from closing out this series, 3-0, which is going to be big for them, as we mentioned, on their mission to make playoffs. However, it's Epsilon that responded with 3 players go down. That's going to leave Aches up momentarily to buy his team some time. Dave's been hunted out, sniffed out, tagged up as well. Somehow, still alive, however. Okay. Well, that's good for Dave. Finds the kill, finds 2. Could honestly find the 3rd if he pulls the flag and gets the kill as well. Dave, are you serious? What was that? Streaks for Dave, full streaks that is, the flag in hand. Fighter pilot's gonna come out, but that's not gonna connect with Dave. He's home sweet home. Enable wastes his streaks, and we got a game on our hands.
Hey, Ben, you remember that time where I was like, I'd rather be able to overpower the opposition? Well, that was a clean 4 down, a free flag cap, and now they have, what, 4 streaks to their name, and I think EG burned their only 1. So, yeah, Epsilon, like, bar any wild mistakes, they should have this game in the bag. Aches has to make the hero play, either him or Apathy, and he's actually going to get through. The question is, do Epsilon recognize this in time? They're actually going to be pulling this towards Apathy. No, Apti's going to make the play. He's going to go for the 2P. He's able to get one. Vortex, though, is going to shut him down, wins the necessary gunfight. So Apti almost the hero, but not the case. Epsilon able to take that lead, and they have streaks for days.
The problem he had there was, I believe it was Hawkey spawn lower dogs. And Hawkey instantly, when you spawn there, I think you should realize, well, hold on, if I'm not spawning on my players with the flag, there has to be someone on that side dictating the map. So I think it just gave maybe an extra second heads up piece of information there for Epsilon on that run, and App left really with nowhere to go. As with 3 minutes left, it is Epsilon with the lead, with streaks. Surely this is one they close out, but of course it's London Docks. Plenty of time means there's plenty of opportunities for flag caps to come through.
Well, EG putting on a lot of pressure on the flag. They got players in fire. They got a player in there. And Vortex, he's going to call in the streaks instantly. But Dave's going to do the work himself. He picks up 2. Reedy gets the 3rd. So you want to say it's a wasted streak, but who cares? You got a clean 4 down. You get map control. And now you have the opportunity. You can use them offensively.
Streak again. Yeah, I was about to say, use your streaks offensively now. You had a great kind of quick succession of kills. You know they're going to be coming off spawn relatively soon, and they're going to be spawning in the same place, right at the back of that flag. Drop an artillery barrage, drop a fighter pilot, get creative, you know, don't just rest on your laurels here just with a 1 flag lead. You got 2.5 minutes, as I mentioned before. This is London Docks' chance. There's a lot of time left in this one, and you have so many streaks. You still have 5 streaks to use.
This is concerning. Now they're forced to burn streaks to just kind of protect their own flag, but I don't even think they know that the player's all the way in the back.
Yeah,
it's going to be Enable. Mountain, he's there. He can get this flag pull. Maybe you got to run it towards your teammates, or maybe just play controlled because you see Vortex wrapping back. But this situation where Epsilon, they had full map control, and now they're just burning,
now they're using another fighter pilot
themselves
as well. And Enable still alive. Finally, Vortex shuts him down, but you basically just had to use a fighter pilot to kill 1 player.
And again, Epsilon, if you're able to get full control of the map, I say pour it on. You don't want to, like, it's turtling up mid-map sort of thing, so it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, if you get map control, I vote pour it on. But at the same time, they have the lead, still in a good spot to get this win. Apti gets behind player lines once again, but you see the players going on the hunt. This is what, the 4th time we've seen EG overextend. At a certain point, Epsilon's going to catch on to it, right? Now, again, they're, quote, turtling up mid-map, so they are in complete control. The clock is on their side, and I think they have one more streak in their back pocket.
If they get a kill here, you want to see them use that artillery. They have 3 streaks, right? They have the mortars, the artillery, and a fighter pilot. Yes, you can win. Well, see, that's here. Might work. 2 kills come through, and Enable trades out 1. However, the artillery, of course, has been put on the spawn point of EG, but the problem was you did so without anyone realistically spawning up. Now they're going to spawn into it, and you see just as the artillery barrage goes. A little bit of a waste, but yes, a great, it's worth saying, mortar strike comes through, good glide bomb, the flag goes in, 2 flag lead. Now you can fight a pilot all you want.
GG, just pour it on them. You got all the streaks in the world, and the players at this point, like, they kind of have to run airborne. Like, you have to get across the map as well. A couple players do have Mountain. Yes, Nameless, he's over near towards the flag, but he's got 18 players, it seems like, to deal with. Dave's pouring it on. He's got the 2nd set of streaks to his name. So, yeah, this should be GG. Epsilon played it fantastically in the first half. They had to be methodical for 2 flags. And again, we're being a little bit maybe hypercritical of them because we think they could do better. But at the same time, they're going to get this win. They had all of the streaks in the world. Dave had himself a fabulous game. So, yeah, they got the map when they needed for maybe to start that reverse sweep.
Oh, it makes it 1 step closer. That's for sure. A great job from the Epsilon squad. They will take game 3. Now can they use that to potentially take game 4 as well? Sort of a reverse sweep, definitely possible, especially considering how close, you know, 1 and 2 were, specifically, of course, 2. But again, in terms of London Docks there, Epsilon look fantastic. A big part of that, of course, Dave, you mentioned it, finishes off a wonderful stat line. But so many streaks, Epsilon, at that point, you can't lose the map, right? When you have that many streaks and you're cycling through them, it's damn near impossible, Chase.
I mean, you got to just think of the way that game started, too. Like, Epsilon had to have played it well because they started out down 2 flags in the first 50 seconds. And when that happened, I was like, okay, EG, looking good on London Docks. They're having a good time. But no, I mean, Epsilon, to their credit. So what have we learned about them this series, right? London Docks, hard point. They played it well. They could be better. That's a given fact. Same thing with Texas. But still, they're going up against a team who's in the best spot to get that 4 seed to make playoffs. and after winning 7 maps, the entirety of the Pro League are looking decent. They're looking of the obvious improvements aren't you need to pick up slaying power, you don't have the talent. It's you need to do things in games that are better, and we just saw that on London Dock CTF. In game, they played better. They had the methodical pulls in the first half. Yep. Literally outside of that first 50 seconds, Epsilon was complete control the entire time. The only criticism we really had for them is we think they could do a little bit better, but even then, that's again hypercritical, very small thing. Epsilon played it fantastically outside of 50 seconds of the game.
But the big difference is those small things that sometimes you're right. You know, we are being hypercritical, but you do that against the likes of a Rise or, you know, sometimes even an LG chance. That's when things can kind of spiral out of control. If you play too passively, they'll come at you with just 110% aggression. And that's when often you see big leads all of a sudden become very small leads, and all of a sudden you end up losing games of CTF. But as we get ready for Game 4 to get underway, Epsilon stay alive in the series with their win in Game 3, of course. But I've completely forgotten the map. I'm trying to think. It was
We're
Forest?
finishing with 2 Forest, yeah.
2 Forests. Okay, I'm not sure if that scares me, because that seems to be App's playground.
Well, yeah, both of which I think are EG's map picks, if I remember correctly. I might actually have them flip-flop. They might have picked the map number 1, but I can't even remember what that map was from the series. But either way, I know that EG picked map 5, right? So even in terms of the series, you said it's London Docks?
It was London Docks.
Did they pick it, though?
Map
They did pick it, didn't they? Oh, yeah, they picked it against... Right, but I'm saying the EG made that pick, right? Like in the pick and bans?
Yes.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So we got it flip-flop. So my take on it is EG picked to play Forest S&D. That is definitely Appy's playground. That's where he goes off. So I think if Epsilon is able to force the map 5, it's going to be incredibly difficult then for to pull off the win. There's always the potential, but you have to get there as well. They picked Forest. Do I think they'll win Forest? No, I think EG should be very comfortable. I think we've seen a Naval that's been looking like a monster. I think even, you know, you talk about who's the, quote, weakest link. Even if you want to say that it's Aches, like Aches has been playing pretty massively as well recently. Please switch those teams and please all spawn in. I don't think it even spawned in. Yeah, we should be good to go.
Yeah, we're fine.
Let's go, Epsilon. Fine. You made the right switch.
They most definitely did. The key for me here, and I mentioned this, I think it was last week actually when I was watching Epsilon. It may have been on, yeah, pretty sure it was on this map. It's going to be that rotation from Ruins to Bunker. You saw in map 1, yes, of course, different map completely, but if you're not able to hold down and win those key fights, you're always going to struggle in a game of Hardpoint, and that's going to be that massive rotation I think Epsilon really do need to emphasize on a little bit here, but already it's EG winning the early gunfights chance and picking up the early time as well. Yeah,
Namel's pretending he has a submachine gun in his hands, pushing up very aggressively with that STG, but hey, EG, they get pretty much the perfect break. You know, Nameless goes up, 3 kills to none. Now, of course, the pressure for Epsilon is coming in left side, but it's one thing to lose the AR battles, but you have to win the SMG gunfights inside the hill. Nameless with the cover over top, though, is able to take down Reedy. Enable pushes through with the SMG to take down the next player. And this is the perfect hill for EG. They're going to get the remainder of this time. No one's going to be able to push for that scrap. And Appy, he's trying to get the rotations as well. He's going to get taken down. So potential for Epsilon to start making this bounce back. But at the same time, perfect start.
I want to say key there as well was he actually didn't find the first pick. So Reedy stays alive on the new hill. He's of course going to be in the hill, but Enable instantly challenges and finds that pick, and now the fight will commence. Enable should spot Dave any second now as well. Should be an easy one by his standards. A 5-2 start for Enable, a 4-1 start. Make that 5-1 start now for Nameless as well as he works over towards Streaks. Curious to see if you may want to try and touch the hill as well for some extra points. Maybe go for some cheeky little juggle strap, but now the health comes. He can focus mid-map, spots Reedy, but Reedy with a nade closes the streak.
And so far, this is very well played from EG, because again, it was Epsilon that kind of had that early full control, but how many nades did we see from Evil Geniuses committed to top plat to take Reedy down? Like, he's in the power position. Once you clear him out, at the very least, Epsilon won't be getting times, and then the rest of your gunfights are going to be a lot easier. So, yes, EG, they're not racking up the time, but you start up, what, 43-0? Epsilon get nothing off of that second hill.
This is key, though. Reedy wins the fight there against Apathy. Now for back Bunker. They don't have spawns, and it's going to come down to, again, winning those gunfights. Reedy didn't really have the support to push through and try and take hill control. Vortex instead pushing through from the front. He's going to have a very heavy Evil Geniuses resistance here, but we'll see if Dave's able to make the play through mid-map. Hardpoint's still going to be contested. No one wants to challenge just yet. Reedy's going to draw first blood in this stalemate. And note immediately that is going to spawn Aches out. He's going to call that out as Hardpoint's still going to be contested. And honestly, Epsilon, they should be able to just choke out EG.
And eventually they are. Dave with pressure for them back. Means his teammates are going to have easier gunfights inside the hill. So little nice turnaround there, and they're actually going to be able to take this lead by the time the bunker hill run. Okay, I say that, and then enable spawns right behind them.
Look how far they push cabin. That's why they immediately just kind of push straight through, and a good challenge from Vortex. And this could be a huge one for Streaks. He gets it. Nameless falls. Aches is going to fall as well. Vortex had a phenomenal game one, if you remember. And that could be the turning point here in Game 4. The fighter pilot glide bomb. Honestly, you would love to see him just try and steal the 100 points here just to guarantee himself that artillery on the hill. And that may be the game plan. Now just touch the hill. Oh, if he touches the hill, he gets the full streaks. But he's so worried about anyone from EG pushing over towards cabin.
Well, I mean, do you want the streaks or do you want to just have full control of the hill? Because if you get cabin control, though, it should be very difficult for EG to get time. Of course, the pressure isn't very quick right now from Epsilon. They have not been playing aggressive, that's for sure. But either way, it should be able to get cleared out. Someone's got to get the kill. Finally, Vortex comes back around. He wasted a lot of time to make it happen, but he does get the streaks, and it is still a very close game. At the same time, I think in the situation, Epsilon could have played it a little bit better there, but still, you got streaks on Forest. You should be good to go in hills down the road.
And as you said, Vortex controls this cabin side pretty much perfectly. Needs to be careful, though, because it's going to be Nameless that spawns back bunker, and Hawkey's going to get some pretty bad timing there. He's not going to notice him just yet. Luckily, though, Dave expects it, so new hill pops, second rotation, and we're basically where we were in London Docks, all tied up. Vortex still trying to slay out at cabin side, and EG, as of yet, have had no response to Vortex. 7 kill streak. Can he make it 8? Not going to happen. But again, it's Epsilon with early hill control.
And just trying to think way down the road. With the way this game is kind of played out, we very well might have this game just end on time. Like, especially if that bunker hill plays out in a similar situation as last time, you almost think it has to, because we're down 3 minutes and 8 seconds on the game clock. Neither team has even broken 100 points, and you got to get all the way to 250. Worth pointing out, Streak has been invested. He's going to get a double kill with it. So Epsilon, they should be good to go. That buys them 24 seconds.
And the key is, Dave has full streaks as well. Yeah. So you can maybe get a little bit more ambitious and a little more aggressive with how you're going to use those streaks. They knock off 15 seconds, but no one actually challenges for scrap time apart from Reedy. He's in a 1v1. He's going to win it. Scrap time goes in favor of Epsilon. Rotation now is going to be key. No, Hawkey spawns with his teammates on the new hill. Needs to be careful, though. 2 players from EG going to be pushing from that bell side, and I think they may have just got sight of that. It's going to be Hawkey that turns around. Is he going to be able to win the first fight? No, he's not. Pressure on Epsilon. This is going to be a very tough push to try and resist from. I'm surprised we haven't seen streaks. Finally, we do. It's only going to be the mortars, and I don't think that's necessarily going to be enough.
I think that might be like a little bit too little too late. He's able to pick up 1, but now EG's breaking through, but then all the gunfights just go the way. Reedy picks up a massive 2 with the SMG as well. That U control is ever important. Now you can even continue to pour the streaks on, but EG trying to bounce back, and Dave, once again, kind of finds himself in the back of the hill. So, again, Epsilon maybe can do things a little bit better, but hey, they're still in a fantastic spot. You see the pressure coming in over top, and
it's the second wave of gunfights. If Epsilon win the second wave of gunfights, these hard points become infinitely easier. They're showing us they can break hills, right? They can break in, they can win the first wave of gunfights as well off rotation. But you've got to be able to win that second. Invest those streaks. You have so many of them. Now, of course, it's a 106-88 game. You don't have the rotation towards bunker, which was the one thing I pointed out at the very beginning. They have to be wary of that, because realistically now, look at how far out they're all spawning. You have, what, Dave, who's in the first hill, trying to lay down some shots. Everyone else has to collapse through, but EG, they're going to come back into this game right here on bunker.
Well, at the same time, they're going to need to as well, right? Because they still have a lot of streaks to burn and going into East Road. Vortex is going to call it in, but you see the player pressure is actually coming in. Reedy manages to get to the back, but he might get shot in the back as well. Players are going to spawn up right behind him. He does get traded out, so there's a fighter pilot burn. You get nothing out of it unless Vortex goes huge, which he does not. So that's a wasted streak, which is huge for EG, though, right? They might get a full 60 on this hill. They're starting to burn some streaks as well. This is a great spot for them.
To me, that's a panic streak right there. You're using a fighter pilot. You don't really have enough pressure to really change much. Now Vortex has to go big, and that's another triple kill from him. And it's moments like that where he's just stepped up. No, he could overlap his streaks here. Has to be wary, though. They're all spawning behind. Does he get sense of it? Looks like he may. Not going to be able to find anything else, though, in the final few seconds go in favor of VG. But we got ourselves a close game here, ladies and gentlemen. 132-118. Keep your eye on the shot clock as well. Chance mentioned it. 2 minutes, 19 seconds still to go. Epsilon with the early control here of East Road. Will they be able to try and claw their way back into the lead, though? That's the big question.
Well, Epsilon has done the dirty work. They do have kind of cabin pressure as well. Hockey's been hanging out in you, so EG pretty much not going to be able to get any time when Epsilon has this setup. The question is how much time can EG burn? Of course, you can just repeatedly chuck some nades over into the hill. You see Vortex going to get tagged up a little bit. He's going to get hit by 2, but he manages to stay alive. Epsilon manages to stay in control, and you see they have really good map control as well. The pressure over by cabin, and more importantly, the U control as well has been huge. Epsilon on East Road doing a very nice job.
I'm getting deja vu, Chance. Map 1, Vortex, artillery barrage. I said this game essentially could come down to when and how he decides to use that artillery barrage. Well, we're in a similar situation. Of course, yes, this time Dave has a few extra streaks, which should aid and assist Epsilon. But when they use these streaks now is going to be so crucial as we go into our third rotation of hills. It's Epsilon with the lead as they look to try and keep the reverse sweep hopes and dreams alive as they look for their first win here in the Pro League. Looking at Dave's perspective, 27-14 now for Epsilon, but he ultimately falls, and EG break into cave.
And Ake's making the switch to the bar for this hill as well, and that's something you appreciate to see. Switching up guns just depending on the hill, but more streaks get called in, but they don't even kill the guy in the hill. EG still in control. Epsilon, though, trying to fight back, and Abel is virtually by himself. He has a little bit of help in cabin, but he's getting it shot from multiple angles. Still doing a very nice job to stay alive. Epsilon, though, they get the cleanup, and they will finally grab the last 20 seconds. Now, on the streaks, get EG out of the hill when there's like 3 seconds left on cave.
You used the glide bomb there on the first hill. Now is the time you should be using it. You've got the scrap time. Use your streaks to break the new setup here of EG. Just give yourself a easier chance, if you will. Now, of course, I think you have, what, 1 streak left in the form of Dave, which, honestly, he may have to use that. There, of course, the artillery barrage comes through from Vortex, but Ace picks up a double, and the artillery barrage doesn't even cover the entire hill. It just covers their side. This has gone to shambles here from Epsilon.
I mean, you want to call in the artillery on the opponent's side of the map so you can still get control of the hill. The problem is for them, everyone on EG was pushed up towards Bell, so it maybe causes a bit of a distraction, but at the very least, EG, they keep burning all these streaks, and they still find themselves in decent spots. At the same time, though, tied game, right? Tied game. Either team at this point could win.
Play for the bunker rotation. Epsilon have lost at the first 2 sides. Honestly, 22 seconds left. If you can keep this merely contested, that's great, and that may be the actual case here for Epsilon. Keep your eye on that minimap. Number 7. We don't have to watch him right now, but I want you to be aware of Hawkey's positioning. Whilst this fight is going on at Ruins, Epsilon have built themselves a lead. No, Hawkey's still in that first hill. He's watching that cross, giving Epsilon so much information. Now, for the first time in the game, they have bunker rotation. Can they respond with a big chunk of time here? It's what we critiqued them heavily with in map 1, not holding the time, but now they need to do it.
And Reedy might have been able to go huge, only able to pick up 1, but now they should know all the pressure coming in from the backside. He doesn't even commit to it, or actually he does. They had another fire pilot coming in. Dave's able to pick up 2, get 3,
look at
get
that.
all 4. Epsilon, huge here. They get these next 40 seconds. The game is almost certainly going to be theirs. Reedy makes sure to flake through fire, getting the cutoff kills. At the very least, going to slow him down. Huge hill coming out from Epsilon.
They know they have the bell spawns too, so Vortex is expecting the push from EG. Nameless is shooting, and Vortex finds the second. Hawkey shuts down Apathy, and EG, they all of a sudden back against the wall here in what many consider to be an easy series, but the trades come through once again. Aches breaks in, but Epsilon with a back spawn. This 12 seconds should be good to at least be contested. Bleed that shot clock. Aches on the hill. Vortex recognizes, let me just wait. Let me just buy some time now. The only important question here is, do they still have that fighter pilot? I want to say they have 1 left. Yes, they do, and it's Hawkey. At 228, 190, that fighter pilot is basically the game.
It could keep him out of East Road at the very least if things get desperate, but EG, it's going to be desperate for them because they can't let Epsilon get 22 points, which is very difficult, especially for the next 2 hills we're talking about. Still, though, EG in control, but they don't have control of cabin, so it's going to be very difficult for them to rack up any time. It's a very delicate situation. They got to burn the streaks. They got to get hill time. And you can't let that clock run down either. Of course, 55 seconds is a fair amount of time, but EG, it's an incredibly difficult balance that they're trying to hold on to right now.
You don't want to see Epsilon use that streak. You really don't, unless their back is truly against the wall, and they absolutely have to. But that's going to be a problem. Enable a double kill for him. And look how close to Shriek's app is as well. He's on a 4 streak. If he's able to get that 100 points of the new hill, it'd be massive. But Epsilon, they've swarmed there. Aches potentially acting as a little bit of bait here for app. But Aches falls, and now with what, 40 seconds left. App's gonna get the 100 points. He's gonna get 2 streaks as well. This game just got interesting.
And he could call it in. He could call it in from inside the hill if his teammates get enough control, but he's gonna take the gunfight. Reedy comes out on that 1v1. Still though, back and forth in EG inside the hill, but then they're gonna get cleaned up by Hockey. Now the other streaks, the counter streak coming in, the glide bomb. Hockey manages to get 3. App gets 1. It's back and forth, no one in the hill. It's gonna be a dogfight race, but now the fighter pilot's coming in. 30 seconds left though on the game clock.
He stays alive! Vortex stays alive in the hill, and that's massive. Is he gonna get shot in the back? Just stay alive, he lies down, and Abel can't kill him. Finally, the support comes through. 247, 248, Aches! A big win from him. EG stay alive in the hard point. Is Aches gonna go for the challenge? Doesn't need to. Vortex with the pick from behind. The shot clock going down as well, and Abel recognizes he has to hop in the hill. Epsilon just need 2 seconds. 8 seconds left on, of course, Cave. Now the rotation is key, and Aches is stuck behind enemy lines. I can't believe I'm saying this. Epsilon, they're forcing the reverse sweep. Chance, the hopes are still alive. Woo!
That is rough for EG. Gonna see a Forest S&D, but Ben, you made the prediction.
I said it.
That Epsilon was gonna win.
Said in 5 too.
If they used their streaks better or had a couple better hills on London Docks hardpoint that first map, this would be over. Like, I make no mistake. I genuinely think Epsilon should have won this series already. Again, I think the map's kind of went in their favor, but that could be them. And it's not because they're having ridiculous individual performances, which they are, but they've just been playing better.
They most definitely have. Epsilon, who have struggled to find their first win in the Pro League, now with a reverse sweep on the cards, they level up the series 2-2 with an intense win on Arden Forest. We're going back to the Forest in our Game 5 Search and Destroy. one of the final week of Division B gameplay is kicking off with a bang. Epsilon EG. We're going to a Game 5. Epsilon with a potential reverse sweep in the making. And we mentioned it before the commercial break. Epsilon, they just look better.
They absolutely have. They look better on the Lennox hardpoint. I think execution was the bigger issue for them. They didn't look better in the Texas. I would definitely give it. Nameless was doing great with the sniper, getting a lot of first bloods. EG, maybe a little bit of struggles of like executing rounds, but 6-4, they got the win. They did what they had to do. That CTF though, from the start that EG had, they should have won that game, but Epsilon played better. Both halves, I would say. Even though the first half they found themselves down, I think it was 3-2 in flags, still played it very, very well. Like considering the situation they got dealt, they did fine. And then on that Forest, they should have won by so much more than what they did. Their streaks were good at times, great at times, and then horrible at times, but they had a lot of them, and that's the important thing.
They had a lot of streaks, and that brings us to our Scuff play of the game. Check it out right here from this man, Dave. He picks up the 4-piece, and realistically, yes, okay, he's in a fighter pilot. Yes, it's a little easy, but look at the time and look at the score. It really allowed Epsilon to get a just chunk of time there on bunker. We were laughing about it, though, when our producer said, yeah, it was Dave in the fighter pilot. We were like, was it Vortex popping the 3-piece in bunker? Like, we could have been a little more creative, but still, a fantastic play from Dave, and it does give them so much time, and realistically, that was a turning point there for Epsilon.
And more credit to Dave as well, because we talked about Vortex a lot with like the hot gunfights inside a bunker, getting the streaks early on, but I think if we were to go back and rewatch that map with the AR battle in mind, between Dave and Nameless, Dave was having himself a fantastic time with or without the fighter pilots, and Nameless wasn't as present on the map, and when you have a good AR that's winning all the gunfights, it makes everyone else's job so much easier, right? And I have to imagine that was actually a pretty big factor into that game that seemingly went unnoticed because there was 11 streaks or however many it was getting called in by Epsilon, but the potential's there. I will say, though, EG, again, it's a must-win because if they lose this, playoff dreams might be just dead outright, and then they might be a team that might get relegated if they lose this because it only gets tougher for here from them in terms of the teams they have to play against. So who knows what's going to happen, but they did pick Forest.
They did.
This is the map that they wanted for Game 5. Should it come there, this is what EG needs to close on.
I will say, App's been a little slow at times throughout this series. This is his playground. This is a map. We've seen App this year just have fun, get a little loose, and really put up big digits. Epsilon now one map away from their first win, and you know, I said they were going to play spoilers. It's almost as if it was meant to be for this squad as they improve every single time we watch them play. And that, of course, the joy of watching them play all throughout the year.
And you talk about it being a spoiler. Like, E-United and Splice are watching this right now, and they're celebrating, they're clapping, they're rooting for Epsilon.
You know that, too. You like sat there like, come on, baby, let's go Europe. They probably, in fact, let me just peek my head around this corner. Is everyone watching down here? Yeah, everyone's watching down here as well. And there's some guys up in the player lounge. But this, a vital game for pretty much every team trying to fight and stay alive here. They recognize the importance of this one as we go to a Game 5, search and destroy. It's Ardennes Forest once again.
And it's an unknown factor. We've seen EG play on this map, I don't know, 7 or 8 times in Pro League now, quite a bit. So the VOD research is there. If I'm Epsilon going into the series, I know that they're going to pick Forest, search, and destroy if you don't ban it away. So they could game plan for it. I have no idea if they did, and it's an unknown factor as well. We haven't seen Epsilon play on it with Reedy yet. I don't believe. And, well, he sniped on Valkyrie. He sniped on Texas. He sniped on London Docks. We've seen London Docks twice. What happens on Forest? Because this is, again, Valkyrie not so much, but this is a map where the sniper could have impact. Again, he didn't do an overwhelmingly great job, I would say, on the Texans. I'd say Nameless got the better of him, at least for the first bloods, but not by a huge margin, right? But again, who knows what Reedy brings to the table on Force? It could be a huge benefit to them. It could be a detriment, but the important part is we don't know, so EG doesn't either. So there is, again, EG picked the map. Maybe you just give it to them based on that. Epsilon has a new roster. But at the same time, if you talk about the information game, it's in favor of Epsi.
Let's not forget the pressure, too, that could be mounting on EG's shoulders. They know that this is a game that they have to win and should be winning by all accord. But enough about that. Game underway. Game 5. It's Aches that draws first blood. Dave, he's going to find a trade there out on Nameless. So instantly a 3v3. Reedy shuts down Enable mid-map, though, and Dave shuts down Aches. It's crumbling round 1 for EG as Epsilon fight aggression with aggression. I love it.
Perfect call. Aggression via aggression. Who wins the gunfights in the end? And it came down to Reedy. He rotated quick enough to catch Enable out. If he doesn't do that, that could have very well been an EG round win. So props to him. He's the fill-in. He makes the right play call, and he wasn't sniping. His job, play by A, take a bar, take an STG, take whatever you want, but make sure you help us min-map when we give up the pressure. So only one round in the books. But if you're a European fan right now, you are doing some weird celebration.
You're smiling, that's for sure. But Reedy now will pull out the sniper rifle. And he's not going to spot Enable just yet. Needs to be careful of those nades, though. He is using Mountain and Hunker, though. So we'll be able to absorb at least one. As, again, Reedy looking for an opening. And this is my worry. Will he potentially be too slow on the attacking rounds? Because you can see Bomb in Vortex hands right behind him. Meanwhile, a couple of other players have rotated over towards our first hard point on this map. Aix tagged up pretty heavily, and will we see the challenge follow through? Doesn't look like it just yet. Aix stays alive, and Nameless with another first blood there on Reedy.
That's huge as well. Take the sniper down. You don't have to worry about picks. Of course, Dave's going to pick one up, but I mean, what can you really do? And of course, time's whittling down as well. And this is a huge problem for them on Texas of just, they played very slow on offense, wasted a lot of time, and now they're basically praying that they can get a pick, but they have zero control of anything. Vortex gets picked mid-map and should almost be done and dusted, bar a miracle coming out from Dave.
Hold on, 30 seconds left. Hold on a minute. Dave, oh, again, I feel like he gets so unlucky with the mantles. We saw it in Texas, and we see it again there. Now Hawkeye 1v2 knows Aix is still going to be there. He just has to worry about Nameless, and whether Nameless is going to push through Fire Alley. Of course, we've seen Nameless just play like a statue on that B site. Rightfully so. He has bombed down. He doesn't really need to do anything, but Aix could be in some trouble. Never mind. Easily cleans up the kill.
And props to Aix, because what was the round from his situation? He's one shot, and he's nearly going to get naded out to die, but then Nameless gets the first blood. Then you have a situation where Dave gets a snipe, picks up the kill on the guy inside a cabin. Not only does Aix stay alive, he has the confidence to go for the challenge because he needs to, because he's got two players that are putting on pressure. So if Aix just tries to wait, he might get overwhelmed. So he makes the right call. Intelligent search and destroy gameplay coming out from Aix, getting the job done on the cabin heady.
If Epsilon are going to play like that again with the sniper rifle, you need to see some smokes. They have to smoke out Aix. If they're going to get him weak and you want a potential just fast push over towards that A site, if Reedy isn't going to snipe Aix, use some smokes. Smoke him out, nullify his position, and take some map control. Once again, though, it's going to be Epsilon on the defensive side, and you can see just how aggressive they're being on the B site, but EG say, all right, well, you can have your B side, boys. We're going to make our way over towards A.
Well, A control is well in the favor of EG. They can get this bomb down, and it looks like that's going to be the play call, hopefully, here for them in the next few seconds. So how does Epsilon retake? They got at least two players kind of focused on the back. Reed is making the rotation as well. They have one player sitting at U, but do they gang up and all just go through cabin cuts? Do they play for picks? Well, Reedy gets the first one from back cabin. Still, though, that bomb is planted. This is a very doable spot for EG, even with a 3v4.
And App went to just double check there, and unfortunately for him, a couple of players have crossed, and they're going to make their way towards Fire Alley. Hawkeye putting some shots down. App's going to spot Reedy. Aix from behind, shoots down Vortex. Instant trade comes through. Hawkeye with a big win on App. That could blow this round wide open. Enable 1v3 falls, and Epsilon, they will retake.
And that's huge. Reedy just getting that first pick is massive, because even in a 3v4, that's not an easy retake for Epsilon at all. Man advantage or no man advantage. And of course, you got to look at Dave. Dave's having himself a nice game so far. He's sitting at 6-1, and there's two players in EG. They don't have a kill. But I think ultimately that comes down to Reedy getting that first pick. He makes it possible for the team, even though I appreciate what EG does, right? They go for the double smoke out. So I think it was Reedy who normally plays on cabin heady. He gets smoked out, has to back up, but the smoke mid-map means, like, I don't know where they're coming from. They could pour in pressure from any number of different angles. So they had the strat to get complete control of the bomb site, but they got picked and threw the round away. So Epsilon obviously up 2-1.
Of course, last time we saw a bit of a slow push from Epsilon. This time it looks like they're going to be a lot more aggressive over towards the B site, and the nade first blood comes through. Nameless down, and how much of a factor was he on EG's last defensive round, if you remember? Of course, he gets the first blood. He's now nullified this round as well. Aix will drop. Epsilon with full control of the map. Dave with a double. Can he find the triple challenge, my boy? Beautiful play from Dave. Epsilon now with a 2-round cushion.
IW Dave is here, Ben, in this series.
It's taken a while, but he's arrived.
Because he was the guy last year. It was Dave, constantly. He's the one stepping up for the team. He had a monster game 4 that kind of goes under the radar a little bit outside of that massive fighter pilot, and he's showing up once again in game 5. That's what you need. You need to have that player you can rally around. Dave at the moment is absolutely being that guy. And again, you can't reiterate enough how huge this would be for the entire division if EG loses this. Everyone right now is rooting for Epsilon.
9-1.
That's a lot of kills.
If Dave can get the streaks here, Epsilon are going to be in such a good position, and a quick rush comes through from EG, and it collapses before your eyes. Vortex with the double. Nameless does shut down Dave, though, and that could be a massive kill in the grand scheme of things. And I am curious to know if EG have kept track of his overall score there, and they recognize that he doesn't actually have streaks. Of course, you see a 9-1 stat line, you may start to worry. Hawkey shuts down Nameless. Now it takes 1v3. He has no right whatsoever to clutch this. He will not. And Epsilon take the lead. 4-1 really gets loud, gets to his feet. Aches. Looks like he has to go back to the drawing board there.
And what was it? Was it Vortex that got those first 2 kills in you?
In you.
As soon as you get the kills over by the B-bomb site like that and you trap the remaining players on the offensive team in Bell, round's over. If you get stuck in Bell, there is 0 places you can go because every direction you pick, someone's on some nasty head glitch, and it's just awful. So obviously the first 2 kills win you the round in that situation.
I want to flick through EG. I want to see if they put Mountain. I don't expect them to have done. No, I think they know he doesn't have streaks. Yeah, my worry was a quick glance there. You may worry that, oh, he has streaks, and they may be forced to put him out, but I think they recognize he doesn't. But they have the advantage. Another first blood comes through. Dave with a double. This is the Dave show, ladies and gents. Challenges for the third because, hell, why not when you're feeling that confident? 3v2, Hawkey with bomb in hand. Epsilon making a statement here in Game 5.
And Reedy maybe getting a little bit overconfident. They're burning the fighter pilot because, well, he was able to get the streaks that round. Hawkey sneaks through and gets them because he's on a 4 streak just by the way, and they waste no time, and that's absolutely the right play call. Guarantees the round. They're up 5-1. And Benson, you're very happy right now.
I called it.
This is the prediction of like season 1.
Someone clip this morning for me. Go back, watch the VOD. When I said Epsilon is winning this, Chance and Merc looked to me like a crazy
No. Not just Chance and Merc. Every single person in the entire community outside of like 5 years.
Maven roasted me. I took my shots.
Okay, but if EG comes back and wins the next 5 in a round,
it's not happening.
Cry.
I will visibly be upset. Let's just say that. Epsilon 5-1, glide bomb there. They were so worried about Dave getting streaks. Hawkey somehow snuck through himself. Epsilon 1 round away from their first win in the Pro League, and it could be massive for every other team here as EG, who are fighting for that 4th place spot, could potentially fall. First blood, is it going to come from Reedy? There's 2 there. He manages to find 1. Will the trade come through from Vortex, though? The glide bomb comes down to no man's land. Aches is still there. He falls. Now it's a 3v2.
Yo, that glide bomb just hit like the gun of the tank, but this is it. Apathy for the 1 versus 3. Can Epsilon get their first series win of the Pro League and take down a team who was trying to fight for playoffs? Apathy, you got to go big.
2-6 the stat line. Dave, Vortex, and Hawkey still alive. 40 seconds on the clock. Epsilon play together. Let him plant. Who cares? Let him plant. Retake the site if you have to. Just play for the trades. Play together. This is a round which is yours and only yours.
And what do you do if you're Apathy? Like, you have to plant the bomb, you have to get 3 kills, and he's doing nothing. They are just sitting in control of B. They're giving up A, trusting them to retake. They retook as a 3v4. Now they're trying to retake as a 3v1.
This is it. This is the moment. He's going to fall. Dave goes for the challenge inside the site. Apathy finds 1. Not like this. Not like this. The trade comes through, and Epsilon win their first game here at the CWL Pro League. What a game that is. A reverse sweep. And that could be massive for EG as their top 4 playoff hopes and dreams could collapse. Reedy lets them know about it, and rightfully so.
The absolute madman. They did it. They freaking did it, man. They got their series win. They shattered, potentially, the dreams of EG. And a hell of a statement for that team. I mean, again, they could have won that series 3-1. Maybe, who knows what happens on Texas if they get some more first blood. They could have won that 3-0. But who cares how it could have been.